Right, so we're a family of kidneys. I'm a transplant kidney recipient. I have polycystic disease. Our son Peter has polycystic disease and may or may not need a transplant. And Martin gave me his kidney. And our story started, my story, when I was diagnosed when I was 24. And I can do mentality, it doesn't make any difference. So I had my head in the sand for a long time. And with our disease, you go into failure very quickly. So they said by 50 I'd either be in dialysis or dead, one or two. And at 51, I think, my kidney function started to decline. And so I was on the process of having something called a fistula. So you have a vein put in your arm so that you can go on dialysis because you may or may not get a kidney. It could take a long time. But actually, Martin was tested. And that was both, I was too poorly really, but it was quite shocking that when he came out, he has a separate team. He had a separate team because they're making sure that I'm not paying him to give me his kidney or his ego hurts. And when he came out with his team, the separate doctors, to say that he was a recipient, a suitable match, you would think I'd be jumping about, and I was kind of like, oh my God, I'm going to have to be grateful for the rest of my life. You know, it brought up issues that you don't really think about, like, and what happens if something happens to him, and we've got 2 kids, and all that kind of stuff. So
at this point as well, we had to think about, well, my side was, I had to think about Peter. You know, yes, I was a match, and it was a case of, but Peter's got polycystic kidneys. Now, he might need a kidney, and it was, we had to have a discussion to sort of think, well, no, Tracy's here, and now Peter's, at the time Peter was 24, same sort of age as Tracy, so he's got another 20 years before his kidneys go into failure. By that time, hopefully there will be a lot more people on the register. There's a lot of genetic engineering going on looking into the disease. So by that time, as Tracy said, they'd probably be growing them through stem cell research. So we had to have that, you know, discussion, which we did, and you know, there wasn't a question for me when they said, you know, you are a match. You know, it was a case, okay, let's get on with it. You know, because Tracy was very poorly by this time, and because I was a match, she wasn't. She didn't have to go into dialysis. She didn't have to have a fistula. We just had to be better and be healthier leading up to the actual transplant. I think that's your turn now.
It's quite a difficult decision to make.
It's a very hard decision. The other point is, you know, when the professor sits there, he says, yes, well, I looked at the results and yes, you're a suitable match. You know, you get this. Oh. And there is that.
I'm aware of another husband and wife.
Yeah.
A couple in Newport Street.
Yeah.
It was the husband who donated it. No, I think it was the wife who donated it.
Yeah, and there's no reason why your partner or your husband would be a match.
Yeah.
And there's no actual reason why your family's a match.
Yeah.
So so it's kind of, so that's why getting a massive pool.
You were quite lucky that.
Oh, well, not only that, I have got a bit of a rare blood group. It was more than a bit of luck.
Yeah.
Probably more lucky we've been married 38 years. So then the process happens that you have an independent, right the last day before I think it was, you have an independent assessor to come in and ask you questions like interesting questions about power, well about power really, a bit like, I suppose one of mine is they asked me about the emotional part about it, and I remember saying, how did Martin respond to emotional questions? And she said, not a lot, but he absolutely knew a lot about the operation. That's because he's an engineer. And one of the questions to me was, would you feel obliged to stay with this man because you feel beholden? I think my response was, "Do I look like that kind of woman?" And I said, "What did Martin say?" And she said, "He said he'd be a bit miffed."
She did.
Yeah. But it's all about power. So we had the operation. It was a bit more technical because Martin's kidney had 2 valves instead of 1, and there was loads of complex things with that. And one of the things, there was a few things that stick in my mind. First of all, both our children were there, so not only did they have the mum going, they had the dad and the mum going down.
Yeah.
And things can go wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's quite rare. MRI pretty good with it, but
You
there's a
don't know, do you?
yeah, you don't know. So one of the things, Martin went down, he was longer, so we were all waiting.
The only reason it took a lot longer for them to remove the kidney was the fact that I've got 2 veins and 2 arteries. Just to see, rather than you normally have the 3
Right, okay,
connections.
no, that's technical. Technical.
No, but he wasn't aware of that when he went in,
Yeah.
and I elected to have mine removed by keyhole, so he was working through a small slot, you know, and it's like all I've got is a scar. It's about that long, just from my belly button down, and then
So
what
how big is the kidney?
the kidney's about the size of your fist, unless it's
So
polycystic.
how did they get it? Does it?
He,
It's like a muscle.
simple, he gets a plastic bag on his hand, puts it in, grabs it, pulls it out, pulls the bag off, and takes it away.
Right.
Because it will collapse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they freeze it before?
No?
They did put it on ice.
Yeah, they put it on ice,
But I was straight in after, so you
Yeah.
don't have to wait or for it to be delivered.
It's not as though it's taken out in Manchester, transferred to Oldham to be fitted. It's taken out. I was wheeled out, Tracy was wheeled in.
There's a lot more kind of certainty with it.
Yeah.
But right, even when Martin was going to surgery, they asked him if he could change his mind.
Yeah.
You know, so they're really on it in terms
Obviously,
of.
You know, you've got right up to actually going into the theatre
That's
doors.
just any second thoughts.
Are you sure about this? You know, so you just get on with it.
So some of the things like Martin went down first.
Yeah.
We waited a long time, didn't we? And then we went down, and the kids said bye-bye to me and walked up the corridor.
And then you went to the wrong.
And then all of a sudden I'm passing them on the trolley because the porter took me to the wrong theatre, so it really instilled like
Yeah.
a
A lot of confidence.
Yeah.
with it.
Well, one of those things where you say goodbye and then
Yeah.
you see him walk by and you're like, goodbye, see you in a bit. Right.
So, but I mean, it's that stuff about how that feels for your kids and for other
Yeah.
people.
Mm.
So then,
Because we were there from basically, 8 in the morning,
8 in the
and we
morning.
didn't leave until you came
Yeah.
out
It's
at
a massive thing.
11 at night.
Yeah, it
We
is.
just stayed the whole day.
and
I was taken down at 8 o'clock. I didn't get back on the ward till 5:30.